Hi, welcome to God Stories, episode 15. This week I wanted to share with you something that happens in my business, seems like more and more often, but again happened last week. So a lot of times I'll get a call for someone that has a geriatric or senior age pet that I've never seen before. So they've had another vet their whole life, and then for whatever reason they call me in, and such was the case with this little dog. His name was Jagger. I met him Thursday. And Thursday they called me in just to look at him. I guess sort of like a second opinion. He wasn't really responding, and they had gone back a second time, and he still wasn't really acting like himself. And so I went to see Jagger, and I knew he needed more than what I could provide based on my exam. So I set him up. I got him ready to go. Sent him on his way to a third vet, which was going to happen at 8:30 the next morning. I saw him at like 4 that afternoon, so I tried to get things expedited for them. The next thing I heard was that he had very advanced cancer after his ultrasound, and he was euthanized. So I called, I waited till work was over, and then I called to speak with Jagger's mom. And God does this so often. He will send me into a dog's life right at the end. And I used to say I don't know why that is, but it seems like it's becoming more clear. Because even though I only knew Jagger for a couple minutes, maybe 20 minutes at the most, man, I just couldn't get over how cute his face was. And they were telling me he lived in this community, and he was known as Mayor Jag because he was so friendly and everyone loved him. And he was just what we call clinically depressed. Like he had nothing. He was there, but he didn't want to be there. He was what they were describing to me and what I was seeing was two completely different dogs. And he was actually sitting away from us. It happens a lot when patients are near death or towards the end. They become, you've heard of a dog, they run off to die. People say run off to die. That's a thing. They become disconnected with their people, and Jagger was disconnected. He was there, but he wasn't there. He didn't want to be there. But he would look back at me, and I was like, like 3 times, like, oh my gosh, his face is so cute. Like, he's so cute. And then hearing the stories about him. But when I called the owner, I prayed with her, and I prayed for her a lot. I've been thinking about her a lot because she lived in this place by herself, and this was her companion, and he's not there now. So I prayed with her, and sometimes I think God brings me into those people's lives I only knew him 20 minutes, but I'm really affected by knowing him for 20 minutes. I think he brings me there because he knows that we'll support her in prayer. In fact, when I told Jessica, after we found out, it was some point later, she said that while we were there and I was on the phone, I had left and was on the phone trying to get everything arranged so we could get him in there as soon as possible. And she said that she had prayed with the owner too, not over Jagger, but over anxiety and fear and issues like that she can relate to. And I thought, wow, God brought us there for like 20 minutes. And I got to meet Jagger, and we got to pray into her circumstances and then lift her up in prayer as she's grieving and mourning his loss. So that's something that God does a lot. It kind of makes me sad in a way because I want to know them their whole lives, but whatever purpose it is that he needs me to feel, I'm happy to feel it. If it's to show up for her for 20 minutes and lift her up in prayer, I did it with her, but I'm also thinking of her a lot. God just lays those people on my heart. So I just love that God, he sees you, he sees your pet, and I'm thankful that as a house call vet, I can walk into those circumstances and be able to support you and lift you up in prayer. So that is my God story for this week, and I thank you so much for listening.